Hey, what's up, interwebs? Doing this again, and this time hopefully got a little bit more interesting subject matter. I've gone ahead and just let Facebook decide what I'm going to be drawing, because if you leave it up to me, God knows what you're going to get. Maybe you get toasters and rocks and who knows what. Facebook, on the other hand, a few people asked for Lady Death. I'm not the most familiar with the character, but I know the look. I don't know much of the history, but I know what she looks like. And in this case, that's going to be enough. I've already broken this down into the clown color flats. Got the flats layer down here. Make sure to lock that so you don't go drawing on it and screw it up. And just like the last one I did, I'm going to start with a black and white layer, a colors layer, and I've taken the drawing, duplicated the drawing, taken it up to the very top of the layer stack. It's on a multiply layer, and this way you don't lose your drawing. You can keep it on, and you can change the opacity of it just so you got a hint of that drawing so you don't lose your way. I'm going to be starting in on the face, working my way through the upper body, all in black and white, and let's just get going. Okay, so that was a little over half an hour, so under time lapse it'll probably be about 5 minutes in the video. and it was all about sculpting the features and upper body. Um, Before this started, I picked the primary light source of coming over the right shoulder with smaller secondary light source coming from the left. And so we end up with the planes of the face and the forehead. All the highlights are on the right hand side coming from the top, so that helps you define your features, because this is kind of like a sculpting process. Even though her skin is white, there's still shadows, there's still highlights, so you're trying to lighten the areas that are coming forward, such as the abs, the rib cage, chest, and darken those that are farther away and where the shadows would fall, such as there's a clear line here where the arm of the chair and her arm would be casting a shadow. So just think about all that, where it needs to go, and just really sculpt all the little bits and pieces. And right now it's very rough. So if you zoom out, okay, you can start to tell who it's going to be, but when you get close, especially in the face, okay, some of the details start to fall apart. And that's okay. This is about roughing things in, blocking them in, getting as much covered as fast as you can, because you can detail for hours to your heart's content. Turn on some music, relax, and you can just noodle on this thing all day long or until you feel it's done. But the big thing is just to get as much of the area covered and blocked in, looking like something fast, because the detail is easy. This is actually the hardest part. Just getting these basic structures built up is the hardest thing you're going to do. After this, you're in easy mode, because all you're doing is refining. So this is your foundation. And I'm going to be moving on to her outfit. You got the cape, these sleeves, and whatnot. And I think I'm going to use a leather texture on this, so I'm going to go dig out a few leather overlays. Latex would just be too easy and shiny. Cloth, it's not as fun, so let me go through the textures file and grab a few things, and then we'll do some more. Alright, so I'm not going to worry about this other sleeve right now. I think between the top and the right arm there's enough information. Don't want to overload anything, bore you to death. Some of the textures that were used had a leather texture and actually a paper texture that if you compare the two, they're not too terribly different, so if you don't want to reuse the same textures over and over. And also this photo of a Persian carpet, because then you can take that pattern, manipulate the colors, and warp it so it becomes lacing, and then you can add a metallic effect to it just by adding a few highlights and shadows here and there. So I'm going to get into the hair now. That's going to take a little while. The hair is going to be on its own layer. I don't use flats for hair because it's all soft edges and individual hairs, and that's the reason for all these working areas with the face and upper body going underneath the hairline so it can sit on top of it. So the best tools I found for this are just small pencils and an airbrush. So you're sometimes drawing, single hairs at a time and bundles. So you just have to work with it. And I'm also going to fill in a lot of this background because her hair is stark white. Drawing white on white, it's not going to work out so well. So let me rough in a quick background and get to work. Alright, moving into part 2. Just going to be doing much of the same as with the upper half of her body. Just going to start working on the black and whites, and then color where necessary, detailing where necessary. So I'm going to roll through this as fast as I can to get her as complete as I can so the work with the detailing can begin. And detailing can last as long as it needs to. It all depends on if you have any type of deadline. Are you doing this for your portfolio? It's all up to you. So I may work on it for a couple more hours or a couple more days. Let me go ahead and get the rest of this filled in so all the fun stuff can start. Alright, interwebs, got some detailing done in between, and I've got her coffin-shaped throne chair all flatted out with all the different planes selected out. Little wine glass so she can just hang out, chill, have some red wine or whatever it is she drinks. She's a supernatural being. She can have whatever she wants. So I'm going to be going ahead and putzing through this and then detailing here and there. I did lighten the hair a little bit, added a few extra strands, just basic cleanup stuff. So let me go ahead and start working on finishing this.